Yeah, where is Tim today?
On his way to the Bahamas.
Oh, of course, on his way to the Bahamas, right where he should be. But that was actually Ross's idea that he brought to me, and I just thought it was great. I mean, what a great idea and a great way to honor Tim and everything he represents. But we're excited about practice this week, because that means we're in postseason and playing for a championship. So not many teams get an opportunity to practice this week, but we are, and we're excited about it. I want to congratulate Pitt, and you know, they've had a heck of a year as well. Lost 2 conference games, played a very tough schedule. They lost to Notre Dame, undefeated. They lost to Central Florida, undefeated. They lost to Penn State, who I guess I haven't seen, they're at least top 15 probably, something like that, but a ranked team. And then had a kind of a shootout against North Carolina and lost at Miami. So, but only 2 conference losses. They're a champion just like we're a champion, and I know they're excited about the opportunity to represent the Coastal Saturday night in Charlotte, and so definitely want to congratulate them. But really proud of our team. I mean, this has been an amazing season. It's probably been the fastest season that I've been a part of. It just has been a blink, a blur. It's gone by so fast, and I think part of that is just how much I have enjoyed being with this group every day. These seniors are special. I mean, just special from every sense of the word, and I think they have had a ton of fun this year. They have had a ton of fun. This is a team that I think has been as focused as any group I've ever been around, and have really just enjoyed the whole part of the journey. And that's something that's important to me, that they have a great experience, and I think they have. And it was funny the other night, and it was sometime in the 4th quarter. We were standing there, and it was kind of timeout, TV timeout, and Mile and Richard, the place was going crazy, and you know, I think the cameras were going or whatever, and Mile and Richard, we were just standing there. He says, "Man, I am going to miss this place. This is special. This is special." And so, you know, I just think our players have truly embraced their journey this year and have loved every second of it, and that's gives me great gratification to see that in our players, and so I'm just really proud of them. And had a bunch of guys, I guess, came out yesterday. I think we had 21 guys be honored as all conference, whether it be first, second, third team, honorable mention, and that's amazing to me. Obviously, Mitch, you know, winning the Jacobs Trophy back-to-back, pretty special. I don't know if any of the other individual awards have been announced yet, but have there been?
There'll be a couple coming later today.
You know, hopefully we'll get some more good news later on today on some of our guys. So I'm just really, it's been an awesome team to be around, and you know, they're excited about this postseason. Just yesterday too, we opened up our new science lab. Don't ask me what's in it or how it works, because ask Bina. He's the expert down there. But we got a bunch of cool stuff that the players love, that we went all over the country studying, because I want, you know, it's important. I want to make sure we've got the best things possible for our players. And and then Alex Bina's done a great job coming in here and helping us, you know, kind of create that department of its own. Hopefully some of y'all got to see that. And but for us now, it's about finishing strong. I think we got 8 days of class left, and then obviously the championship game this week, and then these guys are going to get a little break. You know, regardless of what happens in the game Saturday night, they've been grinding since August 1st when we started our very first team meeting in this room. They've been grinding, and so they'll be excited about having a little bit of break, figuring out our postseason plans, where we're going, who we're playing, all that stuff, but for us, it's about, you know, finishing as strong as we possibly can in both those areas, on and off the field. And got a bunch of guys, graduates already. Got several more graduating here in a couple of weeks, few weeks, so we're excited about that too. But Pittsburgh is a tough, physical football team. That's just who they are. Offensively, they're going to be a 21 personnel team, 11 personnel, some 20, and they come right at you. it's 3 runs to every pass, and you got to stop it. They got 2 backs right at one's over 1,000, the other one's right there at 1,000. Really good players, 30 and 22, great players, downhill, tough, hard-nosed guys. Have really done a nice job incorporating their receivers into the run game with how they block, number one, but then also the play action game. A lot of play action shots, a bunch of formations, bunch of shifts, a lot of motioning. So it really challenges you from just lining up, making sure your gap's sound, being disciplined, and having your eyes on the right things, and playing good, sound, fundamental, disciplined football on the defensive side. But they're going to challenge us, and we've got to make sure that we match the mindset that they bring to the field every time they play. That's just the style that they play with. Quarterback's a good player, moves around well in the pocket. He's made some big plays on the move where he's extended plays. So, I mean, they're an impressive group. They got at number 11, I think it's a transfer in there from maybe Indiana. He's really kind of come on for them. He's got his yards per catch is way up there. So, there's a style of play and a mindset that you have to have against these guys. Because, again, both sides are going to challenge. On the flip side, you look at their defense, I think they had 13 guys coming back this year that started 4 more games last year. Very experienced group, a bunch of guys that have played a lot of football for them. And, they went into Notre Dame, gave Notre Dame all they wanted. Tight ball game, did a great job in the trenches. They're incredibly well coached, very disciplined. Very seldom do you see them out of place. And they're not a sit back, play soft coverage type of deal. They're a force the issue defense. They're going to come after you. They're going to play. Everything is tight coverage. Everything is contested. Safeties are downhill. Linebackers are downhill. Lots of pressure. They do a great job with their pressure packages, getting in and out of their odd fronts and all the different pressures that can come off of that from the second and third level. It's great. The defensive front is very experienced, very good players, twitchy guys on the end, linebackers, second level guys, really good players. They did lose 58. They lost him earlier in the year. He's a really good player for them, and when he's been out. Corner, excellent. Number 11 is a great football player. 20's kind of their captain back there, but these are really good cover guys, and that's why they're confident in doing what they do scheme-wise. They've recruited to the scheme, and they're going to challenge you. So you have to make plays and be very disciplined in what you're doing from a communication standpoint up front, because they do give you a lot of different looks. But we're excited about it. It's championship football. Like I said, 2 championship teams, and going to be 1 winner Saturday night in Charlotte. And we're going to do everything we can to achieve our next goal, and that's to win this league. Questions?
Is this a similar stylistic challenge as Boston College?
Similar in some ways, different defensively, similar from a personnel standpoint offensively, but Boston College is a little more tight end oriented. These guys more receiver oriented. They're gonna challenge you downfield with a bunch of play action shots. But from a philosophy standpoint, yes, in your face, here we come, stop it, type of a deal. They're going to get in a high formation anywhere on the field. Fullback is a heck of a player for them. He's probably their 3rd or 4th leading receiver. They get him the ball a lot. They love their fullback, and they should. He's a great player. I think he's got 15 catches right now, number 35. But they're different. Boston College is much more tight end oriented, where these guys are more receiver oriented when it comes to the passing game. But the quarterback is a very good thrower, and he's a good runner. He's a very good runner. But philosophy, mindset, mentality, very similar. Go challenge you.
Coach, obviously a lot of different players on both sides from that game 2 years ago, but how much do you think that game kind of resides in the heads of your players?
Well, I hope that they're excited about playing them. Our seniors, that's the only team they have lost to, that they don't have a winning record against in this league. So they're 0-1 against Pitt. I'm sure that they remember very well. It was a crazy game, and a lot of opportunities to win the game. Obviously, we played awful on defense. I don't remember what the total yards was, but it was a bunch of yards up and down the field. And but even still with that, we had a chance with Deshaun threw for 580 yards, but 3 interceptions. So we had some bad turnovers. We had red zone turnovers, and even with that, we had a chance to win the game on 4th and 1, and we don't get it. And then they kick a field goal to win it. So they outplayed us. But that team went on to win the national championship and beat a pretty good team to win the national championship. So we got better from it, and but a lot of those guys are back. I think they got at least 6 guys on that defense that were in that game, and so they'll be confident playing us, and they should. They beat us. They beat us at our place. So they've already proven that it can be done. But our guys will be excited to play.
You said your defense got a dose of rope concussion. How needed was that, and how much easier is it to teach from that perspective, especially after the victory?
Well, I don't know that it was needed, but it happened. So you got 2 choices. You can take cough syrup and get better from it, or and own it and move on and get better, or you can sit around and make excuses. But that's not who we are. I mean, yeah, they had a rough night the other night, but they've had a lot of great nights. And even as bad as we played the other night defensively, they had 2 goal line stands. So when they had to make some plays, they made some plays. And I'm talking about goal line stands, like on the 2, right there, and 4 downs. So it's not all bad. We did do a few good things, but that's obviously the worst game we've played defensively in quite a while. But you don't want to disrespect the opponent. I mean, give them some credit. They did a heck of a job, made some plays, and played really well. Had some big chunks, and that's if you're gonna beat Clemson, you're gonna have to have chunks, or have a chance. If you're gonna score on our defense, you're gonna have to have chunks. You're not gonna move the ball down the field. That's just you got to have big plays and give them credit because they got big plays, and then on the flip side of that. What do we need to do better? What did we not do well? And you go apply that. So, but at the end of the day, our worst defensive game of the year, and won by 21 points. So it's a team game. There's been a lot of games where offensively we couldn't hardly make first down, and the defense gets stop, and without that you don't win those games. So it's a team game, and at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It's all about winning.
4th and 1, 2016, if I recall correctly, go out and find the jumbo package, and you didn't make it. This year, you've seen a lot of success with the jumbo package. Did you make any changes between 2016 and 2018, or was it just more of execution?
Execution.
Anybody else? You talked about the things that you didn't do well, that you needed to do better. What more have you seen that you need to do better on with the defense as far as that goes?
Just get back doing what we normally do, week in and week out. It's one of the best defenses in the country, and just have our eyes on the right things, play good fundamentals, line up properly, communicate properly, do a better job coaching. There's a lot of things that we can do better from that one game, but the biggest thing is just be who we are and do what we've done all year long, and learn from the mistakes that we made. We do that, we'll be fine.
Coach Trevor picked up a 3rd and 3 with his legs the other night. Also had his longest run for the 2nd week in a row. Is that really the last piece of the puzzle for this offense to be where it can be? Yeah,
that was something kind of when he first kind of got going that I think he had to kind of grow into a little bit, that we really needed. Because he can run. I mean, and we need him to extend plays, make plays. Some of the with the arm he's got, some of the biggest plays will come off of scrambles. Just like the play he hit Renfro on the other day. I mean, he scrambles around, he runs over to the right, and he turns and he throws a rocket to Renfro back to the left. He's got the ability to do that. and then but also learning how to scramble. No, our quarterback didn't get touched the other night. Not one time. Didn't even get only time he got touched is when he ran and got tackled. We ran him on the 3rd and 3. Oh man, he didn't get touched. Nobody laid a hand on him. So it's learning how to scramble too. You know, earlier part of the year he was kind of scrambling to where we were blocking guys and putting guys in a bad spot, as opposed to, you know, stepping up and then scrambling and making sure he manages the pocket well, and then picks his lanes properly and feels the rush. Sometimes guys don't contain very well, feeling that like he did the other night. That was a great 32-yard run, I think. But yeah, that's a big part of the equation. What we need from him to be the best version of us. So our last game, I think he averaged 8.7, and he averaged over 10 this past week. So yeah, it's a big part of it. We need that from him. And then, you know, there's times where we need him to go get it. And that 3rd and 3, he went and got it. It was well executed, well blocked, and it's hard to stop when you have an extra half. And I think, you know, early on we didn't want to ask too much of him, because, you know, we're trying to get him settled into the role and what he needed to do, big picture. But as the season has progressed, he's gotten more and more comfortable with that.
We've all kind of seen and heard Brent Venable's intensity, and he even joked a few weeks ago with us that people are sometimes surprised to find out he can actually hold a normal conversation, that he's not crazy. How would you maybe best describe Brent's personality and stuff behind the scenes?
He's, you know, it's the craziest. That's why we kind of call him Vinny, because, you know, he is a little crazy on the field. I mean, he even on the practice field, he's got it's like this switch. He's one of the most intense, passionate people that I've been around. But off the field, he is, and it's kind of hard. I don't know what it's weird to say, but he's one of the sweetest spirits you'll ever be around. I mean, he has a sweet, gentle spirit. That may sound crazy to describe Brent, but because y'all just see him, you know, eating nails all the time, but he really is. I mean, it's so much fun to see him with his daughters. I mean, he's just a very loving, gentle spirit. I mean, and that's just who he is. I mean, and for me, early on, because I didn't know Brent, you know, I got around him, I was like, I thought he was going to be crazy all the time. But then, you know, like you get around him, like my first year, like when we weren't like doing football every day, and we just have normal conversations, and then going out on the road recruiting. He is a great soul, man, and he's just about the right things, and has a great sense of humor. But he's passionate. He's passionate about what he does. He loves what he does. He loves it. And that's one of the reasons he's so good. I mean, he's the best. He's the best. It's an amazing, it's been amazing to watch him work, you know, week in and week out, year in and year out. There's nobody on this planet that's more detailed, more passionate, or cares more about what he does and where he does it and who he does it with. He's just awesome that way. But he's very normal, you know, off the football field. But he's got a little bit of a switch when it's practice time, and that's perfectly okay. He's a linebacker, you know. He's a linebacker.
Who is Vinny an homage to? Is that who is Vinny?
Homage?
Yeah.
I'm feeling. Where are you from? You know we're in South Carolina?
I understand.
What is an homage? I don't know what that means. Feeling lugubrious today. What's that other word you had? Lamented. Yeah. Homage. Could you start bringing a thesaurus in here, Rose?
Who
Homage.
does Vinny refer to? I'm sorry.
Who does he refer to? Like
You say
like a
you call him Vinny.
superhero or
Yeah.
something? Well, it's an alter ego. It's an alter ego. It's like he transforms, you know, kind of like Clark Kent, you know, like Renfro. Renfro walks around. I really believe he's Clark Kent. You know, he looks like the most normal human being, and then he steps in that phone booth, and a lot of people don't know what phone booths are today, but back then you stepped in a phone booth, and you know, Renfro puts his helmet on and he turns into Superman. Faster than a speeding bullet, flies through the air, everything sticks to his hands, tough, you know. So that's kind of Vinny. He's got this alter ego when he goes to work.
We know you have a good relationship with Mack Brown. North Carolina's got a press conference presumably to name him their head coach. Have you talked to him lately about that or anything else? And what are your thoughts on him maybe coming back to it?
Well, I actually texted with him yesterday just to see if there was anything going on. So I don't know if anything's been confirmed, but he's, you know, first of all, I hate it for Larry because I think Larry, I mean, you're talking, I don't know who asked me the question. Somebody asked me a question the other night about 3 years ago, you know, I mean, we're in the ACC championship game. And that's how volatile this business is. And so I hate it for him. And that's why I kind of passionately got after a little bit the other night, because the fun's in the winning. Fun is in the winning. And if you can't have fun winning, then why you do it? I mean, it's hard to win. And to win consistently is almost impossible. And so, and that's a perfect example. You know, here's a program that 3 years ago is in the ACC championship game and played us to the wire. You know, we didn't blow them out. We're really happy to win. And now, you know, he's out of a job in 3 years. It's hard. I know when I got hired in 09, and it was my first full season. Gene Chizik got hired in 09. I remember they beat us my second year. They beat us down there in Auburn, 2010, and they go and win the national championship. And I think like 2 years later, there's a new coach. They just come off the national championship. And so it's really, 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 really hard to be consistent. And so, you know, I hate it for Larry because I know he worked his tail off to build a great program. And, you know, they had some hurdles that they probably needed to get over. They just weren't quite able to get over. But Larry's a good football coach, a good person. His wife is a great gal, and he's got a family. So, you know, you hate it, and people, you know, people sometimes look at the financial part of it and they go, oh, he'll be all right. But you know, this it's not about that. This is your livelihood. This is your passion. This is what you love to do. And so that's hard. It's hard because you're talking about real people. So I hate it for him, but I know he'll land on his feet and be fine. But if Mac, you know, it is official. Well, good for Mac, and I think Mac is great for college football. He is a very good friend. It'll be exciting to be able to have him in meetings and to be able to, you know, have a different relationship with him from that standpoint. Obviously, I've never worked with him in the same league, so I think he'll bring a lot to our league, and he'll do a great job in North Carolina. I mean, he knows the landscape there, and he's well respected. So, you know, if that's accurate, I'm really happy for him and excited for him, and he'll put a great staff together and he'll do a heck of a job. Like I said, I got nothing but great respect for Mack Brown. He's as good as it gets.
Is your feeling that Clemson fans aren't properly appreciating this run, or are you trying to guard against that in the future?
No. First, our fans are amazing. 98%. You know, 98%. There's always a small percentage in anything that are just completely out of touch with reality. So, you know, the big thing for me is I don't want, fans can have whatever mindset they want to have, but I don't want anything to creep into a culture of our program, because our players, you know, they get stuff pushed at them, social media. I don't want our players to ever walk off the field, ever, with a win, and the so-called feel like a loss. How sad is that? The objective is to win the game. And, you know, I just, like I said, the fun's in the winning. And if it ain't fun to win, well, man, that's a sad state of affairs. And there's places like that. There's people like that I mean, I'm miserable when we lose. I ain't gonna be miserable when we win. I hate to lose. I hate to lose. Work too hard. But, you know, I do understand that sometimes losing's a part of your success. It's a part of your growth. But when you find a way to get it done, I don't care if you win 70. What was the score of the A&M game the other night? 72-70 or something like that?
74-72.
What was it?
74-72.
I guarantee you, them A&M, they were jacked up to win. And that's awesome. Yeah, I'm sure there's lots of things they got to do better, lots of things to fix, lots of things, but you won the game. You won the game. I mean, I know what losing feels like. I got a very clear picture of that. It's much better to win. And I've never coached a perfect game. I've never had a team play a perfect game. It doesn't matter. We can win by 40 points. There's always something to coach. There's always something to do better. Always something to improve. And that's the challenge. That's the great. But I don't want to ever be a part of anything where players don't appreciate winning, and all of a sudden your culture is that winning ain't enough. It's not enough. I mean, now you got to win by a certain amount of points and all this type of stuff. I just want to win by 1 point. If you win by more than 1 point, and you win by 60 points, you're just 1-0. And the next week, if you win by 70 and you win by 3, you're just 2-0. Win is a win. And I've just always felt that way, and I've always been passionate about that. And that's what Coach taught me. Coach Stallings taught me that. And the fun's in the winning, man, and we celebrate. That's why I don't want to ever come in a locker room and have players over there pouting. Maybe, hey, we won the game. We'll worry about playing better tomorrow. You know, we won the game. Let's celebrate, and we do, man. I love that, man. And seeing those guys in that locker room the other night and dancing and celebrating, that's what it's all about. And you know, but then to hear some chit chat from some of the players, things that, you know, gets pushed at them, like winning ain't enough. That's sad. And I think that mindset needs to be checked, and that's the point I'm making. And you know, nobody's going to ever steal my joy. Joy comes from within, and I'm never, ever, 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 ever not going to have fun winning. And if it ever gets to where it's not fun to win, then you better do something else. I'm gonna come do what y'all doing. I'm gonna come sit beside you, Larry. I'm gonna sit right there and try a different angle or something. But
With or without a thesaurus?
yeah, with a thesaurus. That'll be my homage. Oh man, the fun's in the winning. Don't ever forget it. Don't ever forget it. There's a lot of places around there that they'll take a 3-touchdown win any day of the week. They'll take a one point win any day of the week, and we don't ever need to lose sight of that as a program. Fans can say whatever they want, however they want to feel, but I don't want to ever let any of that mindset creep into this walls of this team. I'm passionate about their experience, and I want them to have a good perspective and to understand how hard it is. It's really hard. And these guys, man, these seniors, God, are you kidding me? These guys won 52 games. It's just unbelievable. It's just incredible. And they've had fun doing it. So I'm just excited for them. And, you know, I mean, that's why do y'all see anything up there that says win the national championship? It's never been there. That's never been a goal. I mean, I don't measure success that way. I mean, what if we went 12-0 or 13-0 and some committee doesn't vote us into a playoff? Does that mean we had an awful year? Does that mean we were failures? No. No. And that's just not the mindset we want to. Winning a national championship is a byproduct of all the things that I measure success by. commitment, passion, toughness, love, servant leadership, discipline. You know, just those are the things that I equate success with. Man, my 2014 team, that's one of the funnest teams I've ever coached. We didn't win a national championship. That defense, man, they were unbelievable. Grady Jarrett, that crowd. I don't think any less of that 2014 team than I did the 2016 team that won it all. Hey, sometimes you got to, I mean, what if Deshaun had gotten hurt and missed 4 games in 16? Does that mean that team wasn't committed? Does that mean that team wasn't as passionate? Does that mean that team underachieved? No. That's not. So I don't judge things by that. I don't judge things by a scoreboard. Other people do. I don't. Never have. Never will. I judge teams based on their work ethic, their commitment, their leadership, their buy-in. Those are the things that matter to me. You know, just like I want to be judged personally by how my boys turn out in life, how my 3 sons turn out. Judge me by that. Judge me by how my players go on in life. What kind of impact they make in their marriages, in their communities, in their societies. That's how I want to be judged. I don't want to be judged by whatever my win-loss record ends up being. It's not how I want to be judged. And because that's just not who we are. And I know there's plenty of places out there, if you don't win the national championship, well, you had a failure year. And that mindset is never going to be a part of this program as long as I'm the head coach. Never. We're gonna measure our teams based on our heart and our commitment, and never lose sight that the fun is in the winning, and really enjoy the journey and the process. I mean, I've been to the top of the mountain. I've been there. I've been there as a player. I've been there as a coach. That's great. That's an awesome moment, but it's just a very small moment, and that's not what you remember. What you remember more than anything is the journey to get there, the relationships, the grind, the failures, the stick-to-itness, the perseverance, the fight. That's what you remember, and that's ultimately what matters more than anything. I want to win the national championship every single year. That would be wonderful. I'd like to win like 15 in a row. That would be great. But if we don't, I'm not gonna all of a sudden say, well, you all failed. You know, that's a terrible perspective, in my opinion. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I just so happen to be the head coach here, and that's my opinion.
Coach, consistency. You got 4 repeat first teamers on the All-ACC team, 21 guys overall across 3 teams. What does that say about the recruiting and development of this program?
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, that's, to me, is what makes college football so much fun and so unpredictable, because, it comes down to recruiting and development. I mean, there's a lot of great coaches out there that they just, maybe they're at a school that it's hard to recruit to, or maybe there's not good recruiters. I don't know. Maybe they're good coaches but not good recruiters. They can't quite articulate what they need to. But, I think that it speaks volumes to the development of our guys, number one, and then also our recruiting. And it's just awesome to see these guys be recognized for their hard work. But you look at any consistent program in college football, there's probably continuity on the staff, number one, continuity with the head coach, and the ability to recruit. And you got to have good players. And I'm not talking about getting the 5-star and winning the. Have we ever won a recruiting battle? I've never had the number 1 recruiting class, ever. 10 years, we didn't have one. We've had some good classes, but it's more about getting the right guys that fit your program and then developing those guys. I mean, Grady Jarrett was a 2-star recruit. Who'd we beat to get Grady Jarrett? He was an unbelievable player. So it's I think a lot of people try to recruit this guy because these teams have offered him, or he's got all these stars. You better be great at evaluating and be detailed in the process. So at least that's what I believe, so that you can protect your program by who comes through the door. And because if you go out there and you sign a bunch of guys that are supposed to be good players and not good players, you're going to get average quick. And so the consistency in our evaluation and our development is the key. And then just the culture of our program. Because that's our guys graduate. They graduate. You got guys that are staying in your program and graduating. And you got the right things in place, then there's a good chance that they're going to improve. I mean, you look at a guy like Denzel Johnson. He's one of my all-time favorites. Denzel Johnson, I don't think he had it. Maybe South Carolina State. Maybe. But here's a kid that has put the work in. And man, he's a baller. He has developed into a really good football player, and still got more to go. I love seeing guys like that. Seeing a Hunter Renfro, who's a walk-on, who hopefully will win that Burlsworth Award next week. Been waiting to nominate him for that for 4 years. But it's pretty cool. So it's the combination of who you're recruiting, and then the development of those guys and the evaluation. All that stuff goes together, and that's what leads to consistency. And then it's continuity with the coaching. You look around, you see some of these programs, they've had 5 coaches in 9 years. Just in my previous 9 years, some schools have had 5 and 4 and 3. Man, it's hard. It's hard to get anything when you don't have any continuity. So that's a big reason for our consistency.
Yeah, but y'all able to get Trey Lamar back in practice? If so, how did he do?
He looked good, and he practiced last week. He just wasn't quite confident on game day. He just didn't feel like he could. He's tried all week, but he just didn't feel like he could quite do what he needed to do. But he was back out there last night. I think the rest helped him.
All right.